The Nobel Piece of Crap Prize is what I'm now calling it because it was revealed today that President Donald Trump, who's brokered peace across many nations and is in the midst of brokering peace in the Middle East, the likes of which Joe Biden could never do, did not do, and many global leaders could not do, that guy didn't win. I'm sure you've already heard of that by now. Instead, it went to some Venezuelan lady, Maria Corina Machado, who is fighting communism over there in Venezuela. Now, again, that's great and all. I'm not a fan of the Venezuelan government, as most Americans are not at this point in time. And some lady fighting communism in a country that doesn't really matter all that much. I don't know how much that should affect the rest of the world. Let's go ahead and let's take this in a little bit of a timeline, because I think this is really interesting, especially the media push in regards to President Trump's peace deal in the Middle East as of late. Graphic 11 shows something that is just so classic lib, and then we'll work our way down from here. This is Representative Eric Swalwell, who's talking about you've been very close to a quote-unquote peace deal since January 20. He's talking about President Trump. It was supposed to happen day one. We're near day 300. Seriously, dude? It's so interesting, too, because so many media outlets, including lib media outlets, and we'll get to a couple in just a second, have said, credit to where credit is due. President Trump did a pretty dang good job here with Israel and Hamas there. And it looks to be, if everybody, does what they're supposed to do, looking at you, Hamas, then everything should turn out. But Eric Swalwell is unhappy that didn't happen on day one. President Trump went on the campaign trail and said, I will make these deals day one. Yeah, he said that. And nobody actually believed it. What is the old saying? People who love Trump take him seriously, but not always literally. And people who hate Trump don't take him seriously, but always take him literally. The guy's, one, he's the president of the United States. Two, he's a media figure. He climbed to the top of the media world, which is also very, very difficult to do. On top of climbing to the top of the New York real estate world, very, very difficult things to do. You got to be a little bit of a showman sometimes. That's kind of the... Nobody actually thought within 24 hours of him being sworn in, he was going to solve one of the most complex conflicts in global history. Nobody actually thought that. So yeah, Eric, it took a little while, but guess what? It's getting done. Your pal, Mr. Biden over there, had quite a bit longer of a time to figure this out and didn't. I think that picture, was in response. The White House posted something when President Trump was passed a note. I think you've probably seen the video by now. Secretary Rubio passed him a note saying, hey, the Israel deal is pretty much there. And then they flipped to a picture of President Biden getting passed a note that said, you have something on your chin. And he goes, what? So there's that. That's where we are in the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize. But it is interesting in kind of combating Mr. Swalwell, what some of the lib media is saying. This is an article from the from the Washington Post. Yes, Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. His Gaza agreement, though still fragile, adds to an unprecedented peacemaking record. Holy cow, that's in the Washington Post. And yeah, it's an opinion section in the Washington Post, but the fact that the Washington Post published it to begin with is saying something that even libs who hate everything that Trump is doing are saying, this is still pretty good. It's like your least favorite baseball team or sports team. Like, you have your favorite sports team and then their rivals. At a certain point, there's some player on the team that you just hate, does something real well, and you're like, that's a good play. That's what's happening with Trump's Middle East deal. Again, didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize. Again, went to some lady in some other country for some reason. But President Trump actually addressed his record on his own. Watch this, cut 6.
I know this, that nobody in history has solved 8 wars in a period of 9 months. And I've stopped 8 wars. So that's never happened before. But they'll have to do what they do. Whatever they do is fine. I know this. I didn't do it for that. I did it because I saved a lot of lives. And that's the thing that bothers me so much about the Russia-Ukraine. 7,000 people are dying a week. Young soldiers, they're almost all soldiers of Ukraine and Russia. So in theory, it doesn't affect us, no, but it's a terrible thing. And we'll get that solved too. But nobody has ever done 8 wars. Nobody's done 8 wars in 30 years, let alone 9 months.
And he's absolutely right. I think what is super fascinating about President Trump that we're seeing in this second term that it was difficult to see in the first term because he was bogged down by a bunch of the swamp there in D.C., is that I think he genuinely cares and doesn't want people dying, especially young men, especially soldiers who are dying for no good reason in his mind. He thinks, well, yeah, why don't we all just get along? Everybody make as much money as you can, do as well as you can, prosper as much as you can, and let's end all the wars. I think he genuinely cares about stopping conflict around the world, which is great. That's what you want in a commander-in-chief. But again, not worthy of the Nobel Peace Prize, despite doing all of the peace. Venezuela, by the way, is still pretty chaotic. They effectively have a dictator there, and the lady that won the Nobel Peace Prize isn't even really the opposition. She was supporting another guy who was running against the effective dictator Maduro in Venezuela. So again, I'm not sure where the threshold for winning a Nobel Peace Prize actually comes in. Actually, I do. Turns out, I looked into this because I feel like you guys might think this is interesting. The Nobel Peace Prize is decided by 5 Norwegian jackasses who all get together in a room and go through submissions for the Nobel Peace Prize. Well, who gets to be submitted for a Nobel Peace Prize? Literally anyone. I kid you not. I looked into this. So you can be anyone doing anything, and the people that are eligible to submit someone for winning the Nobel Peace Prize is pretty much anyone also. University professors, previous laureates, members of academias, which, what does that mean? I'm a member of academia. Turning Point has Turning Point Academy. I'm not, probably out. I probably aged out of that curriculum. But yeah, I'm an academic. Maybe I should nominate producer Glenn for the Nobel Peace Prize. Certain government officials can nominate depending on the prize's category. And they just have to receive the nomination before the January 31st deadline. And also, there's no cost to submit a submission. I think it used to be there was a paywall of $25. Some professor somewhere could nominate you for the Nobel Peace Prize. It was a $25 submission fee. That's gone now too. So if you're a professor, or if you are, let's see, a member of academia, or a member of the academies, not even sure what that means, or a university professor, and I assume they can also mean community college professor or whatever. If you're in higher education, send me an email. I would like to get nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. I think that would actually be great for me. Actually, geez, man, I know this is a very satirical and sarcastic little segment here, but in all seriousness, somebody should nominate Charlie Kirk. That makes sense, especially a month after his assassination. What other public figure sparked a religious revival around the most important country in the world, where, again, like Erica said, we didn't see riots in the streets, we didn't see buildings burning and cars burning or anything like that. We saw people in prayer vigils gathering together and remembering a great man. Well, wow. That's one of those things that pops in your head. I was being sarcastic. I still do want to win the Nobel Peace Prize, but I think there's another guy more deserving of that. And considering that literally anybody can nominate literally anybody else, and apparently literally anybody can win, like again, this lady from Venezuela for some reason, might as well take a shot at it. Who knows?